So that's why I think some of these are our favorite, because there's so much more to them, these episodes.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, the
They're
backstory.
just part of our journey. And I think what moms can take away is this whole thing is a journey. It's a refinement process.
Hey everyone, this is Yvette Hampton. Welcome back to the Schoolhouse Rocked Podcast. Welcome back to we're celebrating the 500th episode, which was on Monday. So today would be the 501st episode of the Schoolhouse Rocked Podcast, but we're talking about all things in fives this week because 500 episodes, you guys, only by the grace of God could we have gotten this far. I mean, I truly stand in awe of what he has done through this podcast, the reviews that we continue to get, the people that we continue to hear from, and the guests that he continues to bring on this podcast. And so we are so glad that you are part of this with us. Thank you for being with us today. I know that there are so many other podcasts you could be listening to. You could be listening to Christmas music right now.
Oh, no. Wait,
Abby,
when's this going to air?
Oh,
hold on. If this airs pre-Thanksgiving.
It's airing of course it's pre-Thanksgiving. It's airing in November, early November.
Yeah, so no, you have to wait till Thanksgiving, right?
No, that's not enough time to listen to Christmas music.
I mean, I don't argue. I agree, but my husband makes the rules. And that's his rule, which is hard rule to follow. Talk about
Garrett
submission
does not,
and all hard things.
Right. Garrett does not love listening to Christmas music, and the girls and I do. So we listen to it more when he's not around, but when he's around, we don't usually.
But like even
Christmas
after
music.
Thanksgiving?
Well, after Thanksgiving, he's more agreeable to it for sure. Okay. But he's just not a Christmas music junkie like we are.
Yeah, that's sad. Neither is Jesse.
I know. I mean, if they don't want to celebrate the birth of Jesus, I guess
we'll pray for them.
On them.
We will lay hands and pray over them. Just kidding.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys.
I don't even know where you were going with that.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
Okay.
Who knows? Garrett's going to have to edit this part out. So we just made a mess of this. Anyway, before we get back into our conversation, I want to say thank you to CTC Math for sponsoring this podcast. If you guys are looking for a great online math program, go to ctcmath.com. Try them out for free. ctcmath.com. I mentioned our sponsors in the first episode, and I again want to just point out how much we really do appreciate them. We have had so many great people who have joined us to sponsor this podcast so that we could keep going, and we are so grateful for them. So you guys just check them out. When you hear those ads pop up for them, know that it is because of them and because of the generosity of our listeners that this podcast is still going. And so we're so grateful for them. Okay, so we're going to talk about our 5 favorite episodes of all time it's out of 500, but it's not like we've had 500 different guests because, each guest, typically for the last year and a half or so, we do 3 episodes per guest.
Right.
So we haven't had 500 guests, but we've had 500 episodes. So it was hard to narrow it down.
I want to go first on this.
You can go first. Yeah.
Only if you go
sat
first,
and
then
looked
it's going to be like I copycatted you. So I got to go first.
Oh.
I know.
Well, I don't think your first one's going to be my first one.
Okay,
but maybe it will be.
Okay,
I don't know.
Here's the deal. My 5 are not in order. It's not like this was my favorite and then my second favorite. I just did my 5 favorites. But really, they aren't even necessarily my favorites. They're the top 5 that came to my mind. Okay. And so what that tells me is they're probably the top 5 that were most impactful to me, potentially. Because if I probably went through the Schoolhouse Rocked, so if you go to the website, you can click on podcasts and then they're all there. Do you know what I love about the website? Sorry, plug. You can actually put in somebody's name in the search bar and it will bring up whatever podcast they've done. And if they've done a bunch, they're all there. So if I would have actually gone through all of them, this list would be impossible because there have been so many incredible guests. Yeah. So these are
Wait. Can I guess what your first one is?
Okay.
I mean, they're in no particular order.
They're not these are the 5 that I went on the list. They're in no, but totally guess.
Okay. I'm going to guess what one. It might not be your first one you have listed.
Go.
Caleb Schrader.
He's totally on there.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, so this is why I even have whys for these. He's been on a few times, but my favorite one of his was Public School Teacher's Perspective. And I think it's because I'm a past public school, and this was a long time ago. I mean, he did this like pre-COVID.
Oh yeah. This was years ago.
It was way long ago, and I can't even remember honestly if I'd been on the show yet.
I don't think so.
So his because I had never heard. okay, so here's the thing. I'd never heard from another teacher all of these reasons. And when I listened to him, I was like, oh my word, someone is speaking my language. Like I feel all these things as a teacher. And so it was so relatable. Well, then having gotten to know Caleb Schrader, which is spelled Schroeder, but it's Schrader, just for everybody to know, and his wife is Leah, spelled Leia, spelled Leia, spelled Leah. So anyway, having gotten to know them, I'm like, no wonder that was such a great episode. He's so amazing and so solid and so awesome. Yeah. But that particular one, the public school teacher's perspective, I think every mom needs to hear it because they think, like, it's just good to hear the teachers that are in there are saying, don't put your kids in here. Right. Yeah. And every teacher needs to listen to it. So good job knowing what my favorite was.
I know. I got your back, girl.
Okay.
Do you want to say another yours? Or you want me to go? Okay,
no, I'll go. We're going to go back and forth.
Okay. So my first one, and again, these are in no particular order either. But maybe they are. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, my first one is the one that you and I did on, it was the Christmas episode on Lessons from Mary.
Yes, that was almost on my list, but I knew you'd put it on your list, so I didn't.
I love that one because it really had a huge impact on me personally as I studied and as you and I prepared for that podcast. Yeah. And then after it was done, it was like, and we've talked about this on the podcast several times, but she was just an ordinary girl.
Right.
Who God used to do amazing things and change the course of history.
Yes.
Like she was special, of course, because she was the Virgin Mary. Right. But before that, she was just a young, ordinary girl. She wasn't royalty. She wasn't anybody spectacular. She was a girl who was willing to say yes.
And I think what I loved about that episode is neither one of us brought all this knowledge to the table. It's almost like God taught us through that episode, where a lot of times we're coming to share something that we know. And that was such a cool episode because, like you said, we got done with it and we were both like, wow. Like, I think I was as impacted by that episode as the listeners.
Yeah. Me too. Yes, for sure.
I loved it. And it's Christmas. You can't go wrong.
Yes. Yeah, that was a good one. And we'll put links to all of these episodes in the show notes so that if you guys are wanting to listen to them, you don't have to go searching for them.
Okay, so my next one, that was on my list, but I didn't write it down because I knew you'd hit it. So I
You're welcome.
Secretly got 6. Okay, then this other one just popped to my head, and I don't know if I would have put it other than, okay, here's what it is. It was Brian Osborne, Building Homeschool on a Solid Foundation. And this is why I think I loved it. It was the first Schoolhouse Rocked episode that I ever heard. It was the first one. It was very way at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think it was my first exposure to Schoolhouse Rocked. We had a huge ice rink in my backyard. And I remember one day I was shoveling the ice rink and I needed something to listen to. And I found the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast and I listened to that and it hooked me. It was so good. And I think it was a culmination of Brian Osborne because he's so awesome. The episode was really great. The content was really great. And the fact that I was outside shoveling snow while I was listening to it, it was all magical. It was just wonderful.
Yeah.
So it goes on my list.
Yeah. So Brian is, for those who have seen the movie, you know that he is one of the main cast members in the movie. And he is so well-spoken and wise. And he was also a public school teacher for 13 years.
Yep. And that taught me too.
Yeah. Just the experience that he comes with and the wisdom that he was able to share. And he's been on a few times too. But I love Brian. He is such a great guest. Yeah. So, okay. My next one is Rachel Carmen. She's been on several times, but there's one particular episode that really struck a chord with me, and it was called That Child. And she shared about just having a difficult child. And it's not that I have a child who's so very difficult. It's just the way that she talked about just accepting and loving that child and how to just come around that child and the importance of homeschooling that child who can be difficult. There was just something about that episode with me that I was like, wow, yes. Because I think for so many of us, a lot of parents, especially if you have a child who's difficult, it's easy to say, you know what, we're just going to send this child to school because homeschooling's not working for them. And what you really mean is homeschooling's not working for you because it's hard to homeschool them.
Totally.
Yeah. And so it's really an episode about homeschooling the child who is just difficult. And that child that she had is now an adult who loves Jesus and serves the Lord. And so just for her to be able to look back over the years and see where that child is now today because of her faithfulness and just pushing ahead and staying faithful to God's call to homeschool him is just amazing to see God's work in his hand on their family. So that was one of my favorites as well.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, I got to go too because I did this last time. I cut you. Sorry. Because I put Rachel Carmen too. So I can cross that off. And really anything with Rachel Carmen is incredible. And it just goes back to, I really think it's just that Titus 2. It's sitting at the feet of older, wiser women who have been there and persevered and remained steadfast. And Rachel is that woman and everything she says is gold. And that particular episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And just that message she sends. Okay, now since you stole that one from me, I have two more and they're so good. And I'm so nervous you're going to have the same ones.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm going to go with, Misty Bailey, Salt and Light.
Okay, no, I don't have that one, but that one's great.
Okay, the Salt and Light, because I feel like I was not on that one, I don't believe. In fact, I was not on none of the ones on my list was I actually a part of. I was just a listener.
So, you didn't pick the ones that you were on.
Well, I didn't. I didn't because I probably learned more. I don't know. Anyway, I think because that is something that I used to really believe that kids should be salt and light. I think being a kid that was so lonely in the school system, I so would have wished that other kids were there with me. I think as a teacher, I thought we need kids to be in salt and light. But here's the thing. All of those were things that I thought, and none of them were biblical. And Misty brought in just straight scripture and why that. So then after I chose to homeschool, everybody would say that, and I didn't have a good answer for it. And listening to her basically just share God's word on that, it was so powerful. I think every parent needs to hear it because we need to have an answer for these things, a biblical answer. And man, she just really pointed out biblically why that is a really messed up, I don't know. Belief. Yeah. So it was good.
You know, we I feel like in the movie, Heidi and Ken Ham do such a good job of debunking that idea.
Totally. They do.
Of having our kids in the school system to be salt and light. And,
I also think as we go through these, it depends. As I was looking, I'm like, where we are in our season, what we needed to hear in the moment. Because now that salt and light thing, I'm like, how was that even a thing I didn't get? Yeah. Or like, Ken does it, Heidi, everybody knows it. But I think it was just that when I heard that one with Misty, it was the first time I'd really heard the biblical argument against that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yes, that was a great one. Okay. My next one is the ministry of motherhood. And this one, was so just near and dear to my heart. I remember specifically talking about this one with you. I was driving back from a conference that I had gone to. It was put on by BJU Press. It was in Greenville, South Carolina. And I was at this conference, and the Lord just did a huge work in my heart that weekend where I was working a lot. And I was, of course, homeschooling, but so much of my attention was focused on Schoolhouse Rocked at that time, on the movie, on the podcast, on everything that we were doing. And my girls were really suffering for that. So I was at this conference, and the Lord just did an amazing work in my heart, and just showed me through some different circumstances that I really needed to be more present with my girls, and I was just having a hard time balancing ministry and motherhood. And so through some people, Heidi St. John was at that conference and a few others, and talking to her and talking to Connie Albers and a couple of other people, the Lord just really showed me that I really needed to change my focus and needed to focus more on my family and on my girls than on ministry. And he would fill in all the gaps. Like he would accomplish through the ministry what he needed to accomplish, but I needed to just redirect my focus and my priorities. And so that was hard for me. I really had to humble myself. I mean, I came back from that trip and, with tears in my eyes, had to apologize to my girls and say, I'm so sorry. I have been working way too much, and I have made ministry a priority over you girls. And they cried, I cried, we all cried. And that was the beginning of the Lord just doing a really important work in our family. And it was a neat episode where I got to just share, and both you and I talked about the importance of motherhood and how motherhood is a ministry itself, and it's a privilege to be a mom. And so that was a really pivotal time in my life. And that was in 2020. That was like the beginning of 2020. So that was right before COVID. And
I very specifically remember you were driving and you called me home from that. So that's why I think some of these are our favorite, because there's so much more to them, these episodes.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, the
they're
backstory.
Just part of our journey. And I think what moms can take away is this whole thing is a journey. It's a refinement process. It's not like one day you say, I'm going to homeschool or I'm going to stay home with my kids, and then you've mastered it. Like, you listen to these seasoned homeschool moms and they're still in the journey of even releasing their kids. And so that's what's been fun is the journey.
What we do at IEW is break through the noise of the grammar and the writing prompts, and we say, this is what you do, step by step. And I've witnessed it over and over again, both watching Andrew teach and hearing from parents, this is the best writing program. We've made it so easy and made it really affordable. So any mom can teach writing to their children using our course, and we guarantee it.
To try 3 weeks of free lessons, visit IEW.com.
What's your next one?
Is that all of yours? No.
No. That's only 3.
Oh, yeah, because I cut you. Okay, this is my last one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Alex Newman.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he brought it. The history.
Yes.
The dysfunction of the public school system. I mean, I don't even know if I said a word the entire time he was talking. My jaw was just like, wow. Wow. It was so good. I share that one a lot. It was just so good. And the man is so smart. I mean, he's just so smart.
Yeah. He is amazing. I got to meet his wife. Actually, we've met her a couple of times. We had lunch with them a few years ago as they were driving through Savannah, Georgia, when we were living there. And then this past summer, I got to see her again in Florida, and she's just such a sweet lady. And so yeah, she's one who just stands by her husband and supports him and encourages him. And I love her. So, but yeah, Alex, he's amazing. He has so much wisdom to share.
That was
he
a
is
good
so smart.
episode.
You're just like, how do you keep all that knowledge in your brain? I just don't even know how he does it.
Well, and as someone who went to college to be a public school teacher, I was just listening to him like, amen. Like, it was phenomenal. And I thought I knew a lot about the history of education. And then he opened his mouth and I'm like, wow. So so you have 2 more. Was Alex on your list?
No, but
I can't believe we didn't have any crossovers.
I know. And he was one that I was like, do I put Alex on there? Because yes, that one was so good. But then I was like, shoot, these others.
I know.
I felt like I don't know.
Well, Rachel Carmen crossed over, and then the Christmas one we both.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what are your last 2?
So my next one, and I think Alex has been on twice. But my next one is Miki Addison, and she's been on twice at least. I think she's been on 2 times, and both times she's been on. Man, that girl, she just brings it. And
she does.
She is incredible.
Oh, what was the one of hers that's my favorite? Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
all of them are. I'll have to think of it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. She has such conviction, and she lives out her conviction. And that's what I love about her. She doesn't just sit and talk about it and then go on her merry way. Yeah. She lives out her conviction, and so does her family. And so we've gotten to know their family pretty well, and they are solid. And I just love her wisdom. She's kind of like the female version of Alex Newman, and where like you could just sit and listen to her talk all day long.
But she has such a fun, like when I got to meet her, she has such a fun personality too. Like she does. A friend. She doesn't seem elevated.
Yes.
She's just, anyway.
Yeah. She's great. So we'll put links to those in the show notes as well. And then my man, I had 7. Can I share 7?
No, because I would have shared 7. You're such a cheater.
I know. Well, I tried to narrow it down. Okay, so how about 5 and then 2 bonuses?
I'm never going to trust you again.
Can I do 5 and 2 bonuses? Okay.
Yes.
So my 5th one would be when I did the Meet the Cast. We did Meet the Cast for a couple of months and had most of our cast members on from the movie. And we did that last year. That was really fun. But my favorite part of Meet the Cast was when I got to have Garrett and my girls on with me. Yes. And it was just so fun to just hear their side of the story and their part of the journey of making the movie and being part of the movie. And so that was really fun, just getting to podcast with my girls and my husband, and people getting to hear from them firsthand. So that was really fun. I think we did like Garrett on Monday and then Brooklyn on Tuesday or on Wednesday and then Lacey on Thursday, something like that. But we all did it in 1 week. And so that was a lot of fun to do that. That's so fun. And then, okay, my bonus ones, these are not 6 and 7. These are just bonuses. Okay. This is what they are.
Okay.
Josh Mulvihill, he came on and talked about his book, 50 Things.
That was literally, okay, if I would have known.
Was that your bonus?
It was my bonus. It was written on my list. And then I am such a rule follower because you're like 5. I did 5. Totally. And his book is sitting on my nightstand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's because you're a type A and I'm a type like B.
What, that
not
I
even
followed
B+.
5, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, because you followed 5. And
I know.
I'm kind of a rule breaker sometimes.
So technically, Josh is my bonus, and then you can have the next bonus. But that was amazing.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely amazing. I went back and had Jesse, like we listened to it together, actually.
Yeah. 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 That one was excellent. And he's actually coming back on in the new year. You know, we're getting ready to do a family series, the Schoolhouse Rocked family series. I'm so excited about this. We're going to talk about all things family, about marriage, parenting, sibling relationships. And one of the things that he focuses on is grandparents. And so he's coming back on to talk about grandparents and their role in homeschooling and in the lives of our kids. So I'm really excited to have him back on. But so he's coming on after the new year. But that was great. And then my last one, this one, was just a fun one to do. Oh man, shoot. I had 2 more. That makes 8.
You are the cheater.
I know. Okay. Well, I'm just going to throw them out there. I'll group these 2 together, even though they're 2 completely separate episodes, but so that I don't cheat too much. Cindy West came on and talked about game schooling. Yeah. And that was really fun because she just talked about like the importance of playing games with our kids and how that develops, their minds and so many different parts.
That was an expensive episode for me.
That was an expensive episode. Yes. And it was so good. We've gotten a few of the games that she's recommended already, and it's just been so much fun playing those. Our Blink has become a favorite in our household.
We don't have it.
No. Oh, it's so fun. It's a card game.
Now this is expensive. Yeah. Oh, with regular normal cards that I already own?
No. No, you have to buy the Blink cards. But it's a really fun game that you can play with most age groups. And so my teenager loves playing it. My 12-year-old loves playing it, and they've enjoyed it. Anyway, it's fun episode. And then the other one is Jenny Urich, 1,000 Hours Outside.
Yeah.
That one was so good. And she really opened my eyes to the importance of our kids being outdoors. And I know that that's something that your family does. And it's so funny. You were talking about how you can barely stand to sit still in your room and record for an hour.
Yeah. I don't think my kids are inside solid for an hour without going out.
Yeah. No, I still have to push my kids outside. Because we're just not outdoorsy people. But after doing that podcast with her, I realized the importance of my kids being outside and me being outside too, not just my kids, but as a family. And so we've really worked on that. We've really worked to try to get outside more. Awesome. But those are my 5 plus 3 bonus favorite episodes.
Good job. Those were my 5. I'll have to bring my bonuses another day.
I stuck to it.
Oh, good job.
We are out of time, but we are going to be back tomorrow and we are going to talk about our 5 favorite things about homeschooling. And this one's fun.
Did you stick to 5?
I did. Yes.
Did you? Okay,
I did. I only have 5 on my list. Now,
okay, good.
Between now and then, I might come up with another. I'm not sure. I can't promise that I won't.
Well, then I'm going to break all the rules and start adding more.
Well, here's the thing. It's my podcast. So don't I have some kind of freedom to like mess with the numbers?
You do. But now that I know that you do that,
Well, and you're the co-host, so it's part your podcast too.
I can have my backups.
So yeah.
True. Nobody will
call
ever
them
have
bonuses.
only 5. Yes, bonuses. Then you're not breaking the rule. You're just doing a bonus. The reality is nobody can ever just pick 5 favorite things about homeschool because it's too rich and too deep and too awesome. But when you come back, you'll hear our top 5.
Yes, our 5 favorite things about homeschooling. So you guys, as we mentioned in the first episode, we are doing a contest again. We're giving away 5 Schoolhouse Rocked DVDs. Schoolhouse Rocked, the Homeschool Revolution. If you've not seen the movie, all you have to do is leave a review for the podcast, go on the form that's in the show notes, fill out the form, and then we will pick 5 winners and we will mail you a copy of the DVD so that you can have it on hand to lend out to friends, to watch it whenever you want, date nights, family movie night. Just make that part of your, I don't know, curriculum, right?
There you go.
Watch it over and over again.
Over and over again. But seriously, do watch it with your kids, because that was one of the biggest surprises with the movie, is how impactful it was actually to my own children.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. God has used it to truly change the hearts of kids.
Yes.
Not just parents. And so by his grace, he's done that. So if you want a copy of the movie, leave a review. If you don't want a copy of the movie, leave a review anyway, if this podcast is a blessing to you. So we would love for you to do that. Also, here's what we're going to ask you to do. I told you that we were going to give you homework this week. So the first thing is to leave a review, fill out the form, and enter to win a copy of the DVD. The second thing is to share this episode with 5 friends, because we are actually, share your favorite episode.
Yeah, don't share this one.
Don't share this one.
This won't keep people coming back. But go listen to our top favorites if you haven't. That's your homework. I'm cutting you off. This is your homework. Go listen to our top favorites that we just shared, and then pick your favorite out of those and share that with 5 friends. I just totally hijacked that little homework assignment, didn't I?
I like it, co-host Aby Rinella.
So go listen to all of those that we just talked about. My 5 and Yvette's 8. And then share your favorite of that with 5 people. How about that?
We would love it. Do that.
Perfect.
Do that. And let us know that you did that. If you leave a review and do that, maybe they can get like a bone. Okay. We're making this contest.
We're just rolling. We're just
rolling with this. Garrett's going to be like, oh dear, what have you done?
Don't get these 2 girls together.
Okay.
Don't give away everything.
Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
If you leave a review
and
if you share your favorite episode or your 5 favorite episodes with 5 friends. It could just be one favorite episode with 5 friends.
Okay.
But share with 5 friends. Okay. Tell us that on the form.
Ooh.
And you will get a bonus entry, because we're all about bonuses.
Oh, I love bonus entries.
Yeah, so you get a bonus entry.
And then don't just tell us that, but tell us which episode was your favorite, because I actually want to know that. What's everybody's favorite episode?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to make it too complicated.
No, that's not part of the contest. That was not part of the contest. I just want to know. So here's, to recap, the contest is your favorite episode with 5 people, and you get a bonus.
Yes. And leave a review. Fill out the form. Yes. We'll have a part on the form for you to be able to tell us that you shared it with 5 friends, and we will put an extra bonus entry in for you to win a DVD.
Now we better stop before we both get fired from this podcast.
Dear. All right. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.
Education is discipleship, and this is something I didn't understand until I was probably 3 years into homeschooling. The Bible teaches us in Luke 6:40 that when a student is fully trained, he will be like his teacher. And as we look around the culture right now, I think it begs the question, who is teaching our children? Who is teaching our children, and what are they teaching our children? And to me, the primary benefit of having my children home with me is I am able to impart my worldview to my children.